Oh, I was at the meeting.
Oh, why, just.
Yeah, I
You have a hell of a color.
I didn't look at it. I checked it out.
So, and get back. Yeah, but half the page, you can take it out. All right, go ahead and call the council meeting to order. Routine business. Open Meetings Act is posted in the back northwest corner if anybody needs to refer to that. Whatnot. Roll call.
Skylar,
Here.
Greg, Brad,
Yes.
Deb. Here.
Go ahead and rise and do the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Any item listed on this agenda will be open for discussion, consideration, and/or action by the Kingsworth City Council. Consent agenda. All items approved with the passage of one motion. Approved minutes from January 8th, 2020 regular meeting. Approval of claims, treasurer's report, department head reports, and approval of cemetery certificates. Any item listed on consent agenda may, by the request of any single council member, be considered as a separate item under the regular agenda section. Motion to approve.
I'll make those two consent agenda.
First by Brad, second by Deb. Okay. Roll call?
Greg,
Aye.
Brad,
Yes.
Deb, Skylar.
Aye. On to mayor's appointments and reports. I've handed out to council members, and if Greg or Rod, you want to see this later too, I can give you kind of like a mission, vision, a statement of kind of things that I would like to see done in the community of where we could progress to. There's just bullet statements and whatnot. There's no there's no how to get there. I mean, it's something I think that we as a community and council and whatnot have to figure out, but it's there so you guys can see some of my thoughts, opinions, and whatnot. There's also photos on the shared drive if you want to look at that. So I'll throw it out there for you guys to see that, so if you want to see that.
If you got copies of it, right?
Sure.
I'll come up.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Appointments, Economic Reuse Plan Review Committee, LB 840 Loan Committee, 3-year term, Dustin Barthel, with an appointment ending in 11/01/2022. Ainsworth Betterment Committee, Josie Ganser for the student, with a term ending in 9/15/2021. Cemetery Board, you've added Marvin Ulrich and Jim Hoke, both with terms ending in 12/9/2020. Planning Commission, Lucinda Norona, I can't, it's a hard one for me, but yeah. Appointment, and that's ending in 12/2/2022. Sellers Barton Cabin Advisory Board, Bill Lentz, term ending in 4/12/2022. Community Redevelopment Authority, School Superintendent, Dale Hafer, term ending in 9/27/2020. Park Board, Brett Duster, term ending in 1/1/2023. Robbie France, term ending in 1/1/2023. I'm going to skip I for a minute. J will be Board of Adjustments. Josh Titus with the term ending in 1/1/2022, filling Jordan Nuffer's vacant spot. Back to item I, Committee on Housing. Found out after a possible appointment for Travis that there is possibly a conflict of interest for that due to the fact that he still does some work for CBS, so I'm going to review that some more, so we're going to hold off on that. So he will be strike him from there, or whether we need to remove him, or how that needs to be done.
So you're not gonna appoint him, but you're gonna go ahead and.
Jake will be appointed, but I will have to address item I. We can table that till March, and I will have another name for that, or verify that the conflict of interest is obsolete or not. So Jake Graff to the Committee of Housing with a term ending in 4/8/2021. Also, item K, appointment of Andrew Hoffman. Okay, we'll do that as a separate motion. So, if we get a motion from council to approve or deny.
Move we approve the mayor's appointments, omitting Travis Gilliland for the time being.
First by Skylar, second.
I'll second
Second by Deb. Roll call.
Brad?
Yes.
Deb?
Yes.
Skylar?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Item K, appointment of Andrew Hoffman Law, Easton LLO, or Law Office as LLC as the city approved attorney for LB 840 loans and grants.
So in the council packet, you should have the information submitted by both attorneys. Andrew is out of Atkinson. He is the city attorney for Atkinson. He's done LB 840 work for them. And he has his resume, and of course, he did indicate his flat fee schedule for any kind of closings and documents that would have to be prepared for that. Let's see, Heather is out of Ord.
Was that her last name, was Sakita?
Yes.
Second up.
Also has quite a bit of experience with LB 840. I think you said Burwell.
Three communities.
Ford, City, and Burwell.
So both of these, I guess, we feel would be, either one would be a good choice.
I was kind of impressed by this Heather Sickett when I read her letter. She seems to have had a lot of LB 840 experience already.
Was Bruno Frank Shoemaker firm ever considered, contacted?
I did not. I guess.
I mean, they're up there a lot, they're here, and
I
plus Shoemaker is married to, Shoemaker boy.
guess how I started out was I called some surrounding communities that have LB 840 and asked them who they utilize. That's kind of how I got started, I guess, with names.
They might be interested in it, because they're gonna be, the building that I'm in right now, they have purchased it. And they're gonna, as I understand, gonna remodel it. And then bring local attorneys in
You know,
eventually.
and do they have experience working with LB 840? Have they done any
I don't
projects?
know. I know one of their attorneys has done work for the village of Cody. For sure. And I don't know how many other towns. They're headquartered in O'Neill and Kearney right now.
Okay. Yeah, and the only consideration I had too is just close proximity. You know, Andy's 45 miles away, you know, if he needed to drive up or if we needed to have him here for meetings or various other things, that at the hourly rate, you know, that would save. Heather, of course, is from Ord. And then, you know, I guess if you want to branch out and see if there's other attorneys that are interested, but that was a consideration when I was looking for names, was close proximity and LB 840 experience.
Other part of it, you need to move forward with it, because we have applications that,
We certainly have some grant applications and potentially maybe an interested party anyway. So definitely, the sooner we move on it, the better we are in a position to move forward on this project. And this would be an appointment, so there would be basically a agreement in place with whatever attorney would be selected regarding the rates and the work that would be done. Anybody else have any questions, suggestions?
The only suggestion, when I say suggestion, just because when I went through it several years ago, my suggestion would be is whatever this attorney is used for, that it come from the city. The city pays for that attorney. In the past, years ago, this would be before any of you have been on the council, loan applications, of course, applicants, we had our own attorneys working on projects, well then we were getting billed for the city attorney's time to review as well. So for an applicant, it was being basically getting double billed. So, not that we weren't, for me, I was still appreciative of being able to have the program available, but, having another $1,000 you have to come up with, and you're already paying another substantial attorney fee on the top of that so that would be my only suggestion, to where the city's having this review done on their behalf, to consider the city paying those bills instead of passing them on to your applicants. But
And I think that's actually in the, it could be wrong, but I think that's worded in the policy manual that
That the
city
applicant pays.
approved attorney, reviews. Of course, we budget under the LB 840 fund for legal fee. And then, I guess, I don't know that Heather provided a kind of a flat fee schedule, but Andy,
flat hourly.
hourly. Andy specifically, we've talked in the past about the need to have just an upfront kind of flat fee, so the applicant knows if you're going into a closing, this is what the settlement on the closing statement will be for that service.
well, as long as that's made aware up front.
Any more comments, concerns, council? Need to make a motion. Anyone want to make a motion to approve, deny, table, anything?
I like Hoffman. You guys have any opinion?
I like the civic her letter where she had had a lot of experience working with it. I know she's farther away.
And she was Ord, is that right?
Or is where she's based, yeah.
Part of what they do now, I visited actually her assistant. In the towns they work with now, part of the time they use Skype. And so they don't have to physically be there, so we're not paying for travel time. And they said that's what they do with some of those communities at the present time. I think that's the way it has to work, but that is part of their option.
Yeah, from my standpoint, I really, either would be comfortable with, they both seem to have experience. I did not talk to Heather, you did, but you said she was very personable.
Yes.
Andrew's very personable. I think either would be a fun choice.
Well,
We need to.
as I say with the Skype deal, I'll go with Sakita. I move we approve the Sakita law as our LB 40 attorney.
First by Skylar, second.
I'll second it.
Second by Deb. Roll call?
Deb?
Aye.
Skylar?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Brad?
Yes. All right. Last thing, sorry, that we got for mayor's report and appointments is the Board of Health did meet on the 29th of January. We are currently working on fine tuning the ordinance. We did look at 5 properties were inspected. We are looking to get a building inspector hired or contracted to do some of these inspections for us. Other than that, that's about all that's going on. Greg, do you have anything to add to that?
On the nuisance
Yeah.
abatement?
Or just
Board of
for
Health.
the Board of Health, that I might have forgot overlooked.
Well, we're gonna be looking at that ordinance
Right,
over here.
right, later on.
Discussing that, yes. But we have 5 properties that the Board of Health has identified for the council to review and make a recommendation back.
All right. Public hearings. 1 to 6 year street improvement program, resolution number 20-02. So we'll go ahead and open the hearing at 5:16.
Lloyd is here. Lloyd is our street superintendent.
Well, what we did this year, Ainsworth, like every community and county that we work for, basically all they didn't get done on the plan, it was all fighting water. And I've been talking with Lisa at pretty good length, and what we did is the streets that you wanted to target and possibly pave with concrete. We showed those in the 1-year plan, and the ones that were carried over as maintenance, we have in the 6-year plan. I know you guys have been talking to Kristen about some grant funds. I also reached out to some people that we work with all the time at the county and community level. And there's some information on the CDBG program, if we want to do that. Ainsworth's low to moderate income is higher than allowable with CDBG.
Yeah, that's right. We share.
Share. And it kind of gives the guidelines, you know, of what you can do for a public works grant. They have not set the dates yet of when we can apply or anything like that. I did talk to Ashley before I come down, and, they would be willing to help with the LMI survey, or whatever you want, whether it needs survey, I mean, you can do it all at once. And she'd like to talk, with Lisa and some of the board members or whatever, as to what, if you're gonna do a survey, let's get everything you, as the board, would want. And we've worked with them on a lot of communities, a lot of towns, and been very successful at getting grant funding. But, I did talk to Kristen. I don't know what she's proposing. Just what type of fund she's proposing.
On the CDBG, you can't have two projects, I mean, isn't there a time frame like where you've got the CDBG for the sewer project? Doesn't that exclude you from, isn't there a time frame before you can apply again?
I guess Chelsea's here and was seeing it, so
Yes.
she knows better than
They're
anybody.
not able to apply for CDBG funding while you have a current CDBG grant open.
Isn't part of the sewer that you're getting this grant a CDBG?
Correct.
Yeah. So that pushes you off a while on.
But it takes a while to put them together.
Yeah, it does, yeah, no doubt.
A construction completion is slated for November. So,
Would you suggest that they do this survey so that they can be prepared for it?
Yes, I would. And Ashley has said, if we could sit down and give her definites of what she wanted studied while she does it, she'd give you a firm proposal that she didn't think it'd be over $1,000.
Well, actually, we've been talking about this. We have a meeting set up for next Wednesday with part of us and Kristen to actually try to accomplish this. So maybe this would be a good direction to check with Ashley and see if she can assist us. But we have been talking about it.
While you do that, Greg, just check and make sure how long that LMI is good for. I know it's only a certain
It's
period.
4 years.
4 years it's good for.
It's good for. And, but anyway, I told Lisa, and probably Wednesday if need be, could come back, but I'm gonna be through here Tuesday anyway. And Lisa wanted to sit down and just go through some things and see if we could nail it down a little more, what everybody's wishes is. But I'll be here, through here Tuesday. If I needed to come back Wednesday, I certainly could.
It says new guidelines are coming out. Is that going to affect the survey qualifications, do you think, of percentages?
I don't believe so, Rod. It really never has.
From some past perspective, when they did the last concrete projects and went out, it was all individual blocks that basically were all set on the paving
Paving
district.
districts.
Yep, they were all separate districts, and that's why you saw a few pass, a few not pass, a few would opt out, and then a block of it would come back in. I know when they talked about doing another one of those, was the potential to tie them together to where you could put them as one district. And I think the key tie-in, when they talked about doing something again, was First Street. If you used First Street, then you could tie in Maple, you could tie in Oak, you could tie in, and it becomes one paving district that's not quite as easy to opt out. And it's more than the whole project either passes or fails, as opposed to having a little piecemeal streets done. I mean, don't get me wrong, the paving project that did get done was a big, was a nice project for the city, but that's why you have stretches where it's a block done, half, And I know they talked in the past about if they were going to do that again, that they try to tie it in and do it as one district as opposed to all these several districts. Just something to consider.
Right. Well, this year especially, been working pretty closely with FEMA a lot of places. And FEMA's thing is non-better, not better, but you can get it up to what it was. And I said, well, why don't we try to put something together and utilize your funds along with others and local and do a better project? They will not do it. every community gets hurt.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame, really, 'cause we get those award letters, you know, $2.1 million is what the city's been obligated. You know, that could go a really long way towards a betterment project.
Yes, yes, it could, and be tied with other funds.
You can just eventually fix it the way it was, 2 years from now, have the same problem, go back to FEMA, they're paying that a whole bunch of money again,
Yeah.
where you can improve it.
So the way it was, Lloyd, is basically getting it back to asphalt. Does it say anything about thickness, where you've got additional funds, can you make it maybe a thicker or non-bet? So thickness would be considered a betterment
Yep.
as well. So you'd have to go back, if it was 6-inch asphalt before, that's,
Can't go wider, nothing's gotta be
They've
ideal.
surveyed all of that.
okay.
So they know.
And we just did in one county, talked FEMA into, they did some bridge replacements with culverts. And we were able to talk them into calling the culverts temporary repair. And now they will fund bridges to go back, so. But it's a battle.
Thanks, Lloyd.
How long it takes to do that.
Sorry, go ahead. The other thing I was gonna, some of these, obviously, like, you've got Third Street from Maple Oak, that's the spot that got beat up so bad, and you've got that as concrete paving. So if you were allocated 2.1 million from FEMA for, I assume that's part of the repair portion that they gave you, was that block, 7th Avenue, some of these that got beat up pretty bad. Does that mean you're just gonna be turning back the FEMA money if you move forward with concrete, because they're obviously not gonna pay that? It's been made clear, so if we do concrete instead of asphalt replacement, you just forfeit that FEMA money for the,
For those streets. Or we put it back to hot mix, and then if we get a paving district passed, the city's out to 12.5% of that hot mix cost. Yeah, the timing is unfortunate.
well, what it makes, I'm just thinking out loud, would it make sense where you've got this FEMA money and can do some of these at least back to new asphalt on them? Would it make sense to utilize that money instead of having to turn it back, and then potentially your paving district, use some of these other streets that didn't necessarily qualify for the FEMA money? And like I said, I don't know what streets did or didn't qualify for FEMA, but I don't know, that's just,
Well, that's the plan, because of time constraint, to get the paving district put in place, then potentially get the LMI up to date, and maybe qualify for CDBG, it's gonna be way too long, so we're probably gonna have to go
yeah,
to the locations that FEMA's approved right now.
yeah. Well, and that makes sense.
And those locations are all over town, these are just the big stretches that probably we can't do ourselves. It's not just patching some holes, this is actually, rebuilding the base.
And FEMA's provided funds
Yeah.
for that, that's, yeah.
Is Harrington, is that asphalt or is it armor coat?
Well, it was originally asphalt, and it's been armor
And
coated
pass,
over.
non-okay with several.
I was gonna say, where it's really broke up, it never looked that thick to be asphalt, so. I'm just curious.
But anyway, I think we're headed the right direction, but I think everybody needs to put their heads together with the funding agencies. Like Greg says, utilize what we have, get them back to what it was, which was not quality by any means.
But better than we have.
Yeah, totally correct. But none of the funding sources are gonna come together overnight.
Any more questions, comments, council, audience? Thanks, Lloyd. Do you need to close, we want to go into pass?
We've got closed, we do that, and then we need a motion on resolution.
Okay, you can go ahead and close the hearing then at 5:28.
paving district was a good thing, except that it really hamstrung future councils in the fact that it basically has to be approved since the cost is being passed on to residents. If you would just say, well, we can't get it passed by residents, we're gonna do it anyway, then you're getting lawsuits from the people that had to pay for a portion of it on the other ones. And
Set of
so
precedents.
really, it did, it set that precedent, and kind of put you guys in the corner to where if those districts don't ever pass, the streets just crumble. Until you just decide, well, for those that continue to fail, we just aren't maintaining them, and they're gonna go back to rubble, and yes, if you can come to us if you want your street better, we'll put the district.
Some of them were there already.
Yeah, that's right. I told a couple of people who live on the street, I'm like, you guys opted out of Maple Street, I'd let that thing go to just complete garbage, and then you can come to us on a paving district since you opted out of it. But
All right, I got a council member that wants to make a motion to adopt that then. You have some resolution to read, or one of you guys that wants to make a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve resolution 20-2 as read by the mayor.
Is that how you do that?
I don't know if that works that way.
I don't know. All right, resolution 20-02, be it resolved by the mayor, city council of the city of Ainsworth, Nebraska, that there is hereby adopted for the city of Ainsworth, Nebraska, a long-range 6-year plan of highway, road, and street improvements based upon priority of needs and calculated to contribute to the orderly development of an integrated statewide system of highways, roads, and streets, which plan is attached here to. Is there a second to that?
I'll second
Have that for a second.
Roll call.
Skylar,
Aye.
Greg,
Aye.
Brad,
it. Yes.
Deb,
Yes.
Okay, I'll stop Tuesday, Lisa, and pick up signed copies and
sounds good. Lloyd.
notice of posting and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank
sir.
you.
Thanks, Lloyd.
Thanks, Lloyd.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Appreciate your work.
good to see you.
Old business, consider ordinance 1542 related to vacant buildings.
So we've discussed this at a couple of meetings. The Board of Health has reviewed this, and background again. The state legislature passed a bill last year, about this time, I think actually it was in March. Bill 251 maybe, LB 251, basically authorizing municipalities to exercise this authority over vacant buildings. And so we talked to some communities that have already implemented this, and Nebraska City being one of them. And that's kind of how this draft ordinance came to be. Basically, what this ordinance is trying to establish is giving the city some authority over property owners that let their buildings sit vacant, whether they be commercial or residential. As residents, we all know that there are a lot of those around town. And we've been trying to work through the nuisance abatement to get, at least these properties kind of maintained and in good looking order anyway. And we're sometimes successful at that and sometimes not. So this ordinance would essentially give the city another leg, if you will, on that effort of working with property owners to try to get something done with these vacant buildings. Either have them be utilized, rehabbed, rented out, sold, demoed, whatever the case may be. Rob, you had some thoughts on the ordinance, do you?
They place a great emphasis upon a building inspector, and of course, we don't have a building inspector. And if you pass this ordinance, you're gonna have a building inspector that will kind of take the bull by the horn.
With that said, Rod, do you know the qualifications, what it takes to become a building inspector, what needs to happen there?
Well, I don't know that there is any specific qualifications either in the state law or in, certainly not in our ordinance. I would think you would want someone that was familiar with building, perhaps a carpenter, possibly an electrician, a mechanic, a plumber, somebody that has done some building, at least in their own right or commercially. It would be nice if you had someone that would be familiar with the county records. The guy that came to my mind immediately was Joe Carr. He did
Did it all.
carpenter work, plus he did the courthouse.
Is there any legal fallback on this person that you think of that could happen? That if, he said it's condemned, or they say, no, it's not.
Well, the way the ordinance is worded and the way the state law is worded, it is such that it provides for due process. Nothing happens without the people's knowledge. They have a right to object, they have a right to, there's exceptions to it, such as if it's sitting there for sale, or if they're working on it, or if they're doing carpentry work, or improving it, or there's various exceptions for it, so it doesn't fall under, you can't just go to every one of them and condemn them.
I agree, though, if, we do implement this, we definitely have to have somebody that knows what they're doing as far as a building inspector. I wouldn't want to put that burden on any of our current employees to,
No, it's going to be a job, it's actually going to be a.
I think the job would be take some time, for maybe the first couple of years, then after you get a handle on it, it shouldn't be that much after that, we hope.
Yeah, and the other thing you can use a building inspector for, which would be kind of nice, is on building permits, you could go out and check the setback lines, make sure that they're within the ordinances and stuff like that.
So you don't know of any certification they would have to maintain or to get to become?
Maybe there is, but I sure am not aware of any.
Okay.
And I'm sure that other cities have building inspectors, so maybe they would know to check with some other towns, to see if they, have had their building inspectors building in seminars or schools, or I'm sure there's no licensing that I'm aware of.
Thank you.
And just so the council collectively knows, I guess I did call around to all of our surrounding communities, at least ones big enough that I thought might have a building inspector on staff within an hour's drive, and they don't. They're in the same boat that we are in, where they just, basically they just review zoning and setbacks. That's kind of what we've been doing here. So there was definitely a shared interest by the communities I talked to that if we did come up with something that they might be interested in joining forces on, in a local type of a thing, because none of us probably have enough work to really keep any one person busy. However, if we kind of shared and so Valentine had work and O'Neill had work and Atkinson had work and probably Bassett had work, that perhaps we could all sort of maybe even, I guess my feeling is, I haven't talked to the community about it, but if there was cost and training and certifications or something, maybe all of us communities collectively could share on that and have an individual that we could utilize. And maybe that's kind of a pipe dream, I don't know. I was actually gonna talk to, it was a suggestion by one of the communities that I visited with in the area, whether CNED would ever have the funds or desire or want as a district to offer such a service.
I'll bring that up with Judy.
Because like I said, the surrounding communities, everybody has this same dilemma.
Sure.
Maybe if you advertise, maybe there's traveling building inspectors, I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. I
There
don't
might
know
be
how far they
somebody
have
out
to
there that
come.
set up their own business and
The state has,
travels through all
the state
the
has
time.
their people that come in and do inspecting buildings, structures.
Might be something to advertise and see if we can get bites on, put it on social media.
So your recommendation was, a pretty good one too, because he has a lot of experience on all of those facets.
I wouldn't hold out much hope for the state, but
No, I'm not there, yeah.
boiler inspector. I have a boiler that's supposed to be inspected every year. I haven't seen one in 4 years. They've now taken it and give it to, I think, the state fire marshal or something like that. But they just kind of shuffled it off somewhere, because they couldn't keep any inspectors to go around and check all the boilers in the community.
So typically with an ordinance, you have to do 3 readings. You read the 3 readings. It was a suggestion that was, kind of just discussed amongst us earlier, that perhaps we carry out the 3 readings and then in the process, really flush out this building inspector further.
Later on. You want me to make a motion to have you advertise for building inspectors, see what kind of feelers we get out there, or? What's your topics on that, or Jeremiah?
Guess it wouldn't hurt necessarily, if there's interest.
If you want to see if they did need to have some kind of qualifications for.
Yeah, I would.
Training or
Well,
certification.
So like, would this building inspector be similar to like what you would use when someone's like selling their house and you have to have an inspector come through and they have to have that certification?
I thought about that
Not-
too.
not
Those are typically
necessarily an
appraisers.
appraisal,
But they have inspectors also, cause like there's Nathan Meyer, I don't know how to say his last name, he married Bailey Morrow, she was Tracy Hartley's daughter, they live over in Bassett. This is what he does, like he came from Norfolk, and this is what he does, is he goes to homes and inspects them. So like when we were selling our house, we initially hired someone clear out of Norfolk, and the next time we hired we put it out there, and he was the one that came, and he was local. So you have somebody in your community that is already certified to do this, or in our region, not our community, our region, because they live in Bassett.
Go reach out to him and talk to him. See.
Would you be willing to email me his contact information?
Sure. I just think that would be, I mean, you have somebody that has the credentials already, he's already in our region, and if you could contract with them, wouldn't that make sense?
I think I had the same thing when I had bought several houses. They came up from different places just to come out and look at the quality of the house, not even to be appraised, but say.
A lot of times,
They look
if
at,
it's a
like, they look at-
USDA loan, they're going for
Yeah, they
it.
look at everything from your roof to
within-
your HVAC to your foundation, like you have to have a report when you're selling a house with all these.
Depending on the lender, but yeah, if it's like you're selling it to somebody who's going for a USDA, like first time home
Yeah,
buyer.
it's
yeah.
it's pretty sticky.
Yeah, right.
And so like you have to hire these certified inspectors, and he lives in Bassett.
Okay. Well, let's reach out to him and see.
And we need a motion.
I don't know.
Reach
Okay,
out.
I'll pass on his information to you, so super awesome guy, like him a lot, so.
Thank you, son.
Thanks,
Well, potentially there could be more work in the area, as you said,
Absolutely.
because there is the need by the community.
I believe he's serving on the housing committee over in Bassett also, just so you know.
All right, so we'll go ahead and just do the 3 readings in and then reach
Yeah.
out to him and have that in for a building inspector if we have to or not. Is this me or is this gonna be anybody? Does anybody want to introduce that ordinance then? Is that how we're gonna have to do it?
No, you can read it by the heading. The heading on the ordinance. The top.
Just ordinance 1542, that's it.
And that,
Okay. Ordinance number 1542, an ordinance of the city of Ainsworth, Nebraska related to vacant buildings, adding section 3-416 to 3-426 to the code, providing due process, repealing all other ordinances and parts of ordinances in conflict with this ordinance, approving publication in pamphlet form and declaring an effective date to be ordained by the mayor and city and council of the city of Ainsworth, Brown County, Nebraska.
Did somebody introduce the ordinance?
Well, that's what I was trying to do.
Okay. So, that is,
And they're gonna, what are you gonna wanna do, 3 readings on it?
Yeah.
Somebody's gotta introduce the ordinance and that, and move that we have vote on the first reading. We don't even have to vote on the first reading, I don't think, it's just read. Somebody introduces it and we read it.
Okay, then after that, after I get that.
On the 3rd reading, then they move its passage.
So we need to read this 2 more times?
Well, not now.
And 2 more meetings?
2 more meetings.
Okay.
Guess I'll make a motion to move forward with ordinance 1542, first reading.
First by Brad, second.
Second.
Roll call.
Greg,
Aye.
Brad,
Yes.
Deb,
Aye.
Skylar.
aye.
4 of them, sorry. Item B, consider a request for reimbursement. Do we need to go to that, or do we strike that?
No, we still have to discuss it.
Okay, consider a request for reimbursement from Brown County for fertilizer applied to the courthouse park lawn.
This was tabled at the January meeting. I have since talked to Buddy Small, county commissioner, and he has asked from the commissioners that the bill be removed from the request for claim. So from county commissioners are no longer asking for that claim to be paid by the city.
Make a motion to accept the request of the county commissioners to remove the claim.
First by Greg, second.
Second.
Second Skylar. Roll call.
Brad,
Yes.
Deb, Skylar,
Aye.
Greg.
Aye.
Can I go further on that?
Go ahead, Brad.
I think, since we're still on that topic, I think that we should install a meter on that at the courthouse. At no cost to the county, or no billing will be done to the county. Just so we know, so they know what we're paying. If this comes up again, we have something to go back on, say, hey, this is what our share has been, or it is right now, and so if the topic comes up again, that we can kind of tell them. Because right now, we have no way of telling whether they're paying more or we're paying more, or, but I think if we meter it, we can show them what's going on.
But I think it goes back to, if we put a meter on it, if we're losing water, we would know it. At the present time, we don't know if we're losing water or not with a leak or whatever. If we had a meter trend, we would know more about it, which would be a plus for the city also.
Sure. Yeah, we've discussed that. I mean, not just even at the courthouse, but beyond all of our non-metered things, whether we should be metering them so we can monitor water loss, gallons pumped versus gallons sold. Because, you know, if you remember in our feasibility study that started the wastewater project, that was a finding, we had a 40% water loss between gallons pumped and gallons sold. That's huge loss of income to the city. So not being able to put your thumb on whether that's city usage or what that is makes it difficult to know how to problem solve, so.
So can we get a report from the water department of what other ones we have, and how many that would be?
Mostly those are just gonna be city facilities. I mean, I think in this situation, this is the only one that we do not bill, that's a non-city used. I'm pretty sure we've got meters out at this football field and school.
So you're saying there's not a meter at this location?
There is not, nor is there one at the water department, or the street shop, or the swimming pool.
We have meters, I assume.
No,
Oh,
we don't stock. It's about $250 a meter.
but as you say, we know we had issues, so we might as well spend.
Well, it would certainly be helpful. I mean, I think, you know, one of the things that we consulted with JEO, the engineering firm that conducted that study, was that all of our meters are 20 to 25 years old, and the lifespan on a meter is 20 years. So some of that water loss could just be that our meters are old, and they're not reading the flow like they should be. So, you know, that was kind of what bore this water meter replacement project. So I would think that within the first year of our replacement water meters, we should have comparable data to see, do we still have 40% water loss? You
Right,
know?
right.
Yeah. But certainly it's helpful, I would think, to have non-metered.
But if you have the people in town replacing water meters,
That would be the time.
that would be the time to install the ones that aren't there, just
Sure.
because they have the expertise. And
Well, and
it
our-
wouldn't take time away from Brad and his crew to
I
try
was
to
gonna
do it.
say, our people can do that too,
Yeah.
you know, more than there are, when you think about it, they're all city facilities.
But again, as Rod said, it's gonna be happening, so that would be a time to go ahead and get it done. I think it's a good suggestion to move forward with that.
You would make a motion to have that opportunity to be voted on. Answer wasn't there before.
I made a motion to put a meter on that.
Yeah, well, that can be voted on. I just want to make sure we're good to go to vote on them instead of having to go next on, because it wasn't on the agenda, is what I'm saying. Rod, we could vote on that.
I don't think you should. I don't know that it even needs a motion because it's an administrative thing. Looks like to me, it's just.
Oh, we sent my motion and put the meter on the courthouse
All right.
water fees.
Okay. So we'll figure out, we can do that.
Yeah,
Decide.
I've already
Okay.
discussed with Brad Miller that idea, so.
If you need a meter, I got one in my house.
I'm sure you do.
That one you disconnected a few years ago.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to regular agenda then, A, Central Nebraska Economic Development District member update. Chelsea, hello.
Good evening, thanks for letting me visit with you this evening. I'm Chelsea Luthi, I'm with Central Nebraska Economic Development District. Basically, we're meeting with all of our member communities and counties, just to share an update, have a discussion, maybe chat a little bit, disaster, that kind of a thing. Wanted to let you know, and Lloyd had mentioned it before, that currently the city is not LMI eligible, which means you'd not be eligible for federal funding such as CDBG. But you are eligible for USDA rural development funds. You'd be eligible for 75% of a project cost, and then the city would cover 25%. For example, they have community facilities funds that would be available, and that type of money would be eligible for those. So I was curious if you had any projects with that kind of a thing in mind that you were looking at doing, and I don't know, see if there was something we could do with that. Rural development does have more money available to them now than they have in the past because of last year's disaster. So there's potential to, you know, maybe get some projects done through that. So I want to share that with you. Say that again?
Swimming pools?
You know, I'm not sure. But it just take a phone call and we'd find out.
So Chelsea, you think even with our wastewater project and we're receiving USDA grant funds and loan funds, we're still
We'd
eligible
still be
to
eligible.
apply for those funds?
Yep. The 75% would be toward a grant. If your project, and I'm not sure if they're raising the maximum amount. Typically, facility fund money, grant money maxes out at $50,000. I'm not sure if they are increasing that limit because of the disaster money they've received on top of their typical allowance. So that'd be something that'd be worth looking into. But so typically how this project works is you would have a project It could be over $50,000, but the most that rural development will put in for grant money will be $50,000. And then the city would cover anything above that, and then it would max out at 75%, 75%.
Questions, comments? Counselor?
Take all the help we can get.
Yep. This one? Thank you.
If you have something that comes to mind or whatever, and you want to talk about it, then you can definitely ask.
Awesome.
See what's on it. Thanks very much.
Yep, thank you. Item B, consider resolution 20-01 regarding the year-end 2019 certificate, certification of the city street superintendent.
Doing this certification essentially allows us an incentive payment from the state for having a street superintendent. We've actually already received these funds, so this is tying up loose ends, making sure that we have the good paperwork trail in place with the state. So I would ask for adoption of that resolution.
Is there a motion from anybody for the adoption of the resolution?
I move we adopt resolution number 20-01.
First by Skylar, second.
I'll second it.
Second by Brad. Roll call.
Skylar?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Brad?
Yes.
Deb?
Yes.
Item C, consider the recommendation of the Ainsworth Betterment Committee to approve a request from the Ainsworth Women's Club in an amount of $2,950.70 for Christmas decoration repairs. Sunny?
Okay, well, thank you for letting, we're considering a request for one, so I just want to run through some things with you guys. So we all know that that's a beautiful project that we have down there. Hopefully we're all able to enjoy it during the holiday season. And Women's Club has taken care of that project for 54 years now. It's hard to believe it's been around for that long, but it has. We, over the years, those pieces down there a lot of them are in memorial of actual past community members. There was a really nice article in the Ainsworth Star Journal a couple years ago that actually went through every single piece down there and who they actually were a representation of. So it's a labor of love for our organization. We put a lot of time and energy and our own funds to keep it up and as nice as it actually is. Over the years, we have done fundraisers. We've done our tour tables, we've done bake sales, we've done different things that have helped purchase some of those expenses that come up. It could be anywhere from light bulbs to replacing the garland, to we've replaced extension cords to outlets that are down there because there are little electrical outlets to power each of those structures, I guess to say. So I'm just going to give you guys some numbers so you guys understand that this request, I know it's quite a bit of money, but there were some very crucial repairs that need to be done. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the park, but the Candy Cane Lane, it's got the little peppermint candies. Those had faulty wiring there, where there was some exposed wires that were sitting in water, which is a safety hazard. Unfortunately, we don't know the condition of those structures until they're actually put up, so this is not something that I can say, hey, I think we're going to have this much in repairs this year. We don't know until those structures go up and then we see the problems that they're having, and then we call an electrician in to get them up and functional so that they are ready to be lit Thanksgiving night. So since 2014, our organization, ourselves, just what we paid out of our Ainsworth Women's Club account, not including what we've done out of our own pockets because I don't have a paper trail for that, has been a little over $4,000. So we have tried to do fundraisers. I don't have the numbers. I was even involved. I was the president when all this was happening. But like in 2016, we had our tour tables and our net income was $1,113. In 2017, our net income was $800. So you're talking, we've spent $4,000 and we're barely even making $1,000 each year that we're doing these repairs. They didn't do a fundraiser in 2018, and in 2019, they had planned to do our 5th annual tour of tables, and it was canceled due to all that flooding that we were having. It was scheduled for March 30th. So we are short funds, and we are just asking for your guys' assistance to help us pay these bills so we can continue to have this park in the condition that it's in. One other thing, just a little bit about Women's Club, so you guys do understand. The money that we raise from tour tables and our dues and other fundraisers we do are not just for the lights down there. We are part of many projects within the community. We do the homecoming judging. We provide prizes for the kids at the grade school. We do trick or treat street. We donate for senior tea. We do the veterans baskets, which we've done all the way to over 20 baskets in 1 year. Scholarships. We do the Christmas pageant. We have Park Home summer meal. We provide a meal to the Park Home residents out there. We also do Golden Age bingo, and we provide all the prizes for that as well. So there is a lot of out-of-pocket expenses that we have as members, and we try to cover by fundraising, but there's just never enough dollars, I guess, in the world to pay for everything that needs to be done.
Thanks.
You guys have any questions for me?
Thanks, Sonny.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
I make a motion that we approve the recommendation of the APC committee to give the Women's Club $2,950.70 for Christmas decoration repairs.
Second.
First by Deb, second by Greg. Roll call.
Brad,
Yes.
Deb,
Yes.
Skylar,
Aye.
Greg.
Aye.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
you're welcome.
It always does look nice.
It does,
The holidays
and it's
stuff.
something that's important and people look forward to it, and I would hate to see the park dark 1 year. I think the year that we do that, it's gonna have a big impact on the community. And I don't know what the future is gonna be, and so I don't know if this is something that we need to have further discussion with you guys in regards to partnering, because there is always gonna be an expense there with that.
Well, we don't want a safety issue up there either.
No, we cannot have a safety issue up there. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Item D, consider nuisance declarations on properties identified by the Board of Health.
There are 5 properties that were identified. Warren County Sheriff's Office has photographed those properties, I guess, for the benefit of the media, because this was not in the packet. I can read you the legal descriptions of these 5 properties.
Do that, or the addresses, whatever. Legal descriptions, nobody's gonna know what they are, right?
I think that's proper at this point.
Well, until you, I would say just until you make a decision on it as far as the,
So if you, I guess for your benefit, it's Osborne's Block 14, Lot 9. Is one of the properties.
question, is this Osborne, that Osborne has an E on it, right?
Yeah, that's correct. The second property is Osborne's Block 22, Lots 7 and 8. The third property is Osborne's Block 22, west 50 feet of south 54 feet of Lot 6. So now, the fourth property is Hall's Second, Block 10, Lot 18. And the last property identified is Woodward's Block 5, lots 13, 14, and 15. And I think all the council has had a chance to review the photographs taken by the sheriff's office. And I will turn it over to a board of health member. I would like to speak to these and what you would like done with them.
Would you come to more about it than I do? So these were the addresses that were identified, and we are going to go ahead and notify those individuals.
They're the top 5 of
The whole-
26 we have on the list.
Right. So those will be notified, and we're still working on, we said 3 weeks or 3 months before, what was it? That we decided. There will, for the fines and whatnot, there will be only 6, but there'll still be at least 9 months before we fine, is that correct? Until we figure out what's going, until we decided with,
You know, that, you're talking about the ordinance, aren't you?
I don't know what I'm talking about right now. I'm a little
This is
confused.
just declaration of nuisance.
Right, we'll turn this back over, so.
Over to Bruce.
So what's Bruce's next step then if we
He will-
declare these a nuisance?
He'll go and by letter deliver to the individuals, findings and whatnot, of those properties to be repaired or
Have a
taken care of.
deadline. Very similar to the process we went through with CNET a few years ago when we did the quadranting of the city where the properties were identified and the drive-by pictures were taken and the city council declared those nuisances and then those property owners were issued kind of cleanup letters essentially with some time frames and when to get that done.
Does it cleanup letter identify individually what they actually have to clean up? I say, if there's a tire in the front yard, they have to pick up the tire.
I think
Does
they
he
get
does he
copies
get that?
of the photographs, if I
Okay.
recall correctly, so that they know what was seen at that point in time. And then once that deadline has surpassed, the sheriff's office will do another inspection to see if the nuisance was abated or not, and then that information will come back to Board of Health and City Council again at that time to decide if further action is needed. So at this stage in the game, it's, basically the evidence was presented to the city council for you guys to make a decision on whether or not to declare it a nuisance.
By doing that, you do all 5 at once, or you have to do each individual ones separately?
You're doing all at once.
I was gonna say, we read this legal address into the record, so.
I make a motion that we declare all 5 properties that was read as nuisance in the city limits of Ainsworth.
Second.
Brian, second, Greg. Roll call.
Deb?
Aye.
Skylar?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Brad?
Yes.
Item E, city administrator, clerk, and treasurer report.
January was a very, very busy month in the city office. We just had a lot going on between end of year and all of the quarterly and year-end filings and everything that occurs in January, plus all of the projects and different things that we have going on. There was never a dull moment in the office, it seemed. The street shop is completed. We did the final walkthrough Monday.
Yes.
Couple of things that we discussed with the contractor, everything was good. We have the keys to the building. So the guys will start, hopefully, pretty shortly moving some stuff over there. It is a very nice addition. I know that the street department employees are very happy, very proud that they have this addition. So thanks, to everybody's efforts in accomplishing that. It will be a significant help, not only to extend the life of our equipment, but it really was kind of a safety hazard in there for the employees. So it's certainly a welcome addition. Let's see, the bids on the wastewater improvement project, bid opening is currently scheduled for next Tuesday. Olson will be here, 10 a.m. We would like to have a special meeting of the city council February 26th. I believe that is a Wednesday over the noon hour, if that will work for all of you to have a quorum. The plan is that Olson will present its recommendations on those bids.
Do you have the issues with USDA resolved regarding the footage?
I wouldn't say it's resolved, but the USDA has agreed to let us bid let, and then we'll take that up when the bids come in. So I feel like that was a small victory, at least we're moving forward, and we'll have some actual numbers to argue, if we need to argue. Like I said, the final completion date, actually this is, I have a typo here, it's November 31st, I think, is the actual final official sign-off completion date for all of the projects. The city bids, specs for the Highway 20 project, all that was submitted to NDOT. Let's see, I'm still working with the hospital. I talked to John Warner, CEO, and John Gross, president of the board, about the idea of, we had that directive to write a letter to Senator Brewer, and talking to John and John, we all kind of concurred that that letter would be strengthened if it was a collaborative letter between the city and the hospital. So I'm working with them to get something together for that. Jared Ehlers invited me to participate as a member of the strategic planning team through Warren County Community Foundation. So I attended a meeting with that. They're planning to do a town hall, I think in April is the idea. I know they're gonna run some targeted ads and things on, kind of building up to that town hall to hope that we get some good participation. The last one was in 2015. And the solar project, we had a meeting, kind of a conference call meeting with NPPD, just informally to review the RFPs and the pricings that had come back and kind of what NPPD's recommendation may be, soliciting some feedback from cities. So we kind of reviewed that, had some question and answer, requested some additional information from NPPD, which they tracked down for us. And so it looks like, hopefully at the March meeting, I need to visit with Kathy at NPPD to ensure that they can be here. But we would like to have a recommendation to the council to move forward with that project. We've got some really good numbers. We feel pretty confident with what came back. So that's kind of exciting. Maybe we'll have some forward movement there next month. The financial audit from Dana F. Cole concluded on the 31st. It went pretty good, I guess, as far as I'm aware. There was no major issues that I was aware of, so.
Excuse me, was that both LD 840 and
That's
3?
correct, yep,
Will you expect to get back quicker than in the past?
I would hope so. Anybody have any questions? I guess I didn't have in here, I met with the school, Jeremiah and I met with school administration, Dale Hafer, and athletic director, to just kind of review everything with our interlocal agreements with the school and make sure we were all on the same page, Dale being new, and kind of did a Q&A with them, and everybody's happy with the current arrangements, and we've got a good working relationship, so no problems there. Anybody have questions?
more questions, comments, or?
I do have something before you adjourn.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just gonna hand this out, it kind of explains it, but tonight I'm resigning my position on the city council. My husband and I are actually, we bought a home in Oakland, Nebraska, and we are moving basically to be 15 miles from our grandson. So it's a family thing, we'll be closer to our family, and Rich is kind of halfway ready to retire, so we're just kind of doing that. So this will be my last meeting. I've enjoyed being here, I've done almost 2 terms, and it's been an honor to serve the people of Ainsworth. So it's kind of a bittersweet thing, because I've made some friends here, and I've enjoyed living here, but we're looking forward to being close to that little grandbaby.
Thank you for your time put in.
Thanks.
Thanks, Deb.
Appreciate it.
With this letter here, I guess we need a motion from one of the council members to accept the letter of resignation for Deb. Make a motion to. If not, I guess she'll stay, Deb. Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion, we accept the resignation.
Okay.
Rose.
First by-
Effective of this meeting.
Okay, first by Greg, second.
I'll second it.
Second by Brad. Roll call?
Skylar?
Aye.
Craig? Brad?
Yes.
Deb?
I,
Moral pass.
I think you got to
Thank you,
abstain.
Deb.
I thought that is saying also.
Thank you again, Deb.
thank you guys.
Is there any more questions, comments from the audience or council?
So will you appoint someone?
Next meeting for Travis, yes, so I will have to engage in that.
How's that like the,
Oh, no.
or mayor recommends?
Oh, yeah.
Adjustments
4 weeks,
of-
correct?
of-
4 weeks.
It's been a while since we've had.
So within 4 weeks, we'll have to get a name and council can approve.
Yeah, you make the recommendation on someone and it's up to the council to approve or disapprove.
Sorry, you had me confused, I thought we were talking about Travis.
Sorry.
Yes, none-
I know, maybe you'd already picked somebody,
No.
that was why it didn't.
Well, I thought I might have 1 more month, but it's looking like we're gonna be, I think we might have our house sold. Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
Well, Rod, that'll, of course, your term was coming up anyway
Yeah,
in
this was
20,
my
wasn't it?
last.
Okay, so that's,
Yeah.
never mind. That term was coming up anyway.
Yeah.
Right. But it would, I don't, like, if this was her first year, the appointment would have only gone to the next election, right? And then they appointed for a 2-year term. Like I said, it's a moot point with this being.
Sort of like when Kent left.
Yeah, I couldn't remember.
All right, we'll go ahead and adjourn then, meeting at 18:16. And thank you for everybody for listening.
Thanks, guys.
So,
Here's Nathan's recommendation.
Greg,
Thank you so much.
with that.
Yeah, he's a
thing got
certified
there,
home
there's some
inspector,
things
so-
in that letter.
Okay.
That'd be great.
Well, so you were talking about, like, what's the difference between a home inspector and a building inspector? The only thing different is that the building inspector is appointed by the city.
No one necessarily else.
No, if you want to publish it,
Now,
that's fine,
is
whatever,
it-
but I just want.
Is
Yeah,
it
so like,
city
he looked
county?
at different units, each one units are agriculture, are foundations, or roof, I mean, the exterior,
I would like
that's
to,
exactly.
and I'm sure the community does,
Okay.
I mean,
Me, it would